President Zelensky, thank you so much for taking the time for speaking with Bloomberg yet again.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to begin by taking a step back. You've now been at war for 3 years and 9 months almost. There is a lot of concern. Each of those days is measured in lives, in resources. There's concerns that it's now a stalemate, a forever war. Now, today, on day 1,357, from the United States and from Europe, what do you need to meaningfully change the course of the war?
Thank you very much. Not to lose your support. Not to lose unity between the United States and Europe around the Ukrainian question, first of all. What we need between us, yes, long artillery, we really need. There's a big deficit on the front line. During this war, it's not the question of this day, it's a question for this war. Of course, we need air defense. We are thankful for program Pearl. We are thankful to President. Yes, and this is very important. He opened this corridor that we can buy. By Pearl, we can buy air defense. Missiles, Mark 3. First of all, Mark 3. And of course, systems. With systems, it's difficult because it's always the question of time. Yes, but we can't wait because they attack us each day. And we began to work on the interceptors, drones, interceptors. We have our production, and by the way, good production, American-Ukrainian production, co-production. I'm happy that we have co-productions already. Yeah. We started this, but I hope that in future we will have more. So I think air defense, number one, long artillery, as I said, and of course, if you will ask me what can change, yes, we need long range. Yes, we need long range. Somebody, by the way, I had a conversation with Santos, as you mentioned at the very beginning, and bipartisan support. We are thankful, but we spoke about Tomahawks, for example. I said it's not only about Tomahawks. There are some similar long-range things, very important things. Look, there are military targets on the territory of Russia which have huge air defense around because they need to save. That's why it's not enough to have drones. We need, some other package. So if we want to answer, because they attack us and we have to answer, that's why we raised this topic with the American side.
And another topic at the battle lines right now, the battle for Pokrovsk is currently being waged. There have been some suggestions from allies saying that it might make sense to have a tactical retreat to conserve military, conserve resources, conserve lives in order to regroup. Is that something that you're actively considering? Has the time come to take a retreat?
In any way, this is a decision of generals, and of course I will support our soldiers, especially commanders who are there, how they can control the situation, or it's too expensive for us. We can't lose the most important for us. This is our soldiers, and of course they need to decide on the battlefield, decide the place. But you have to know the most expensive month during these 3 years and 9 months, these months for Russians, because of Pokrovsk. They lost in October more than 25,000 people. It's only this is 25,000 what we control from drones. So there are video facts of this. So I don't know the total number of their losses during October, but only fixed by video, 25,000.
And something you do control, and there will be renewed discussions about this around manpower, whether or not you need to expand conscription. Is that something you were looking at? This is something that you may hear more from allies, given the retreats you've had to make in Zaporizhia, for example.
Look, the question of people, of course, is the most sensitive and the most difficult, for me, for soldiers, for people, for society, and for partners. Yes, and of course we don't have really comparable number of people because you know the size of Russia, yes, and you know the size of Ukraine, yes, but this is the balance. You can't, even if soldiers ask to mobilize more people, you have to balance. It's a very difficult question. You have to balance because there are society, people, and they have to work, and they have to work and pay taxes, and then this money goes to army. So you have to find the balance. So I react during military cabinets, and of course soldiers raised this topic, and partners. Yes, but partners are not at the battlefield. And that's why, with all respect to our partners, with all respect, I said the decision of our army was to mobilize about 30,000 per month. And the system now is doing this.
And one of those partners is President Donald Trump. He seemed very committed to the idea of a ceasefire. Now it seems that the diplomatic line for now is closed. You know President Trump and you understand one another much better than you did back in February. With that understanding, how do you bring him back to the table and on your side of the table?
How to bring back
Donald
President Trump?
Yes, to committing to the idea of a ceasefire.
I think this is important for me and for our people, and this is a big euro, much more bigger than in Ukraine. We paid the most, high price because it's only Ukrainian losses here, but human losses, of course, first of all. But we have to understand that also. I think this is important for America, and I think this is very important not to give possibility to Russia just to. Russia began this aggression. Russia began this war. It's a war against us. They stolen. Thousands of Ukrainian children. We can't. They don't respect. They don't respect the law, but they really respect the United States. They respect President Trump. I really think that President Trump can push Putin to negotiations, and that's why this is very important. And I think that like I said to senators, we are very thankful to First Lady, and I'm very thankful, like the President of Ukraine, that our First Ladies, Olena and Melania, that they spoke, they began to work on children question, how to bring kids back. This is very important, and I'm thankful to her and to other leaders who also helped us. For this moment, we brought 1,600 children.
And you mentioned the Pearl Defense Program that was rolled out earlier this year. Is that bringing you what you need at this stage?
I'm thankful to President that we can get what we need. Not enough, but it depends on different things. But not enough. But not enough air defense, not enough missiles. I work on it personally. I work on it personally each day here in Ukraine and abroad. We have different systems. We have NASAMS, IRIS-T, Hawks, Patriot systems, different systems. And for these systems we need, or it's about missiles, or the questions of money. And I need to get these funds and to push this money for air defense, for Pearl. Now we have this Pearl. That's why this is very important.
And then the U.S. shutdown, there have been reports that the U.S. shutdown has been affecting the Pearl program, that maybe it's been creating difficulties for allies to purchase through the program. It has had delays to deliveries. Has the U.S. shutdown had an impact on the battlefield for you?
All such things in the United States, of course, have influence. You have to understand that you are leaders, and we count on your support, and of course any kind of such challenges in your country have influence, of course, because it's not about the will of one or another. People or institutions. Sometimes it goes like because of logistics, some slow steps, we need it and it comes later or doesn't. So that's why such things of course have influence.
So you feel on the battlefield the U.S. shutdown?
Of course we have influence on it. Okay. But it's important that not of the will of some people. It's in the United States. It's your internal questions, but you understand how it works.
Yeah, and the other partners that you have are obviously the European partners. We're sensing the Russian assets is, of course, the main debate that is happening in Europe right now. There's a pattern with European leaders where at first they say no to something, whether it's tanks or some other things, then they go to maybe, then they get to yes.
It's true.
Right now they're on maybe for the Russian assets. Do you think they're going to get to yes, and do you have assurances from European leaders that they will deliver loans on the Russian assets?
We need it very much. This is one of the types of real sanctions. Russia has to pay for this war. They began this war and they have to pay. This is a real fact, how they can pay. And we need this money. We will spend this money on renovation, and of course we need air defense, and we need air defense from the United States, and we have European systems. We need this air defense from European leaders. This is all very important. And of course we need to finance our drone production, which is huge. We need to finance it, and we don't have additional money. And this is the way, and this is fair, I think. They began this war and they want to continue it. That's why they have to pay.
Is this the most significant thing European leaders can do right now to help you?
Of course, we can get more than 140 billion for today.
Right.
We can get it. By the way, from the United States, it will be also a good signal, like with energy, like sanctions of the White House, of President.
What?
Yes, it's about Lukoil and Rosneft and Lukoil. Important step. And it brought some our partners, European partners, also to some strong decisions. And we've been happy that there have been 19th package. We are thankful to Europeans for this. So that's why if President Trump, for example, will decide that he has I think more than 5 billion he has of assets, maybe he will decide to spend this money. It will help.
Have you discussed alternatives with allies about the Russian assets if that does not come through? Is there an alternative plan? Is there a plan B?
No, they understand that we need their support, and I hope, God bless, we will get this decision, but if they will not have this decision, of course, we together will find we have to find alternatives. It's a question of our surviving. That's why we need it very much, and I count on partners.
And on the question of, you brought Donald Trump in connection to the Europeans, why did it take Donald Trump to get the Europeans to ban Russian LNG?
He always said that he wants Europe to put sanctions on Russian energy. He always said that was during our meeting and etc. And you know that some countries in Europe, they really used it. Yes, it was not the case of 1 year. In the case of, I think, about 30 years, they had relations and a lot of different factories. They have common businesses. It's understandable. And then President of the United States, he said, okay, I'm ready, and if Europe will be ready. And of course, this decision, this way of sanctions was good, as I said to you, that it was American sanctions and European sanctions. It like split, and they came together. And I think this is good way. It was good way. And that's the same about assets. That's why I raised it about assets, that there are some assets in the United States. If the United States can do it, it will be helpful for European decisions also.
And on the assets, is there an alternative plan? So potentially, let's say the EU can't agree on 27, let's say it's 25, and then maybe there's a partnership with Canada or other nations. Do you see that as an alternative path for the Russian assets to back that?
We have bilateral security documents between us and 28, maybe 29 for today, partners. We have bilateral document, security document, which gives us possibility to count on each year financial support. For example, we have good document with Canada. You said about Canada. We have good document with Canada. We have good document with the United States. We have very good documents with other, for example, North European partners and Germany, and really we can count on their money. For example, you know that Germany is one of the biggest donors in the world, and the biggest in Europe, and of course we count on this document. It's not alternative, but this, I mean, this good, how to say, як сказати, подушка, як сказати? Піл. Піл. Yeah, this is a good pill.
And in terms of energy, the Russians have been targeting more and more your energy infrastructure, your gas infrastructure as well. You're heading into the winter, yet another winter of the war, very difficult situation. Can you tell us what the situation is going to be for energy in the coming months for Ukraine?
А росіяни що більше?
And Russians do what, you said?
That they've been bombing your energy infrastructure.
Так,
Substations
на
to nuclear.
цілюсь.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't hear. So we have really difficult situation. And we have to go through this winter. It's not the first winter, by the way, but they, of course, they increased the number of attacks by drones. Can you imagine they use Iranian drones? Can you imagine how many drones they use? They use 500. They can use 600, 700. They used once already 800 drones per day, plus ballistic and cruise missiles, and it's such combination, of course, is yes. But we have what we have. We have air defense. We have our production of drones. We have drones interceptors. We have our systems of electronic warfare, a lot. I mean, it's about hundreds for today, and it's our production. So we, of course, and our people people from energy, and they which work on the fields, and that's why this is very important.